hello, motherfuckers!
Well, that's one way to say hello to the masses, the PWO universe, the PWO Outlaws. We are 48 minutes, 35 seconds away from Wrestledream. We are back. This is the first time that we've actually had somewhat of a consistent schedule or a show in a very short period of time, followed by another show in a short period of time. We are excited. We are. Who are you?
I'm Michael Murray.
And I am Tim Hanksman. The other two yahoos, Matt and John, are here with us, and we are going to talk a little bit of wrestling for the next however long we want to talk to.
I hope everybody appreciated our intro music.
Yes, thank you. That was phenomenal, guys. That's great work.
Stolen from the 1999 classic, NHL 99. Hopefully we don't get taken down.
I think we'll be okay.
We'll be okay.
We'll be good. We'll be good.
Okay. So, Tim, what's going on?
Wow. I'm doing well. I wish my Phillies were doing better.
You said it.
I'm sitting here with 3 Mets fans. We're going to talk a little baseball. I got to get it off my chest. Let's get it out of the way. Congratulations. I think I texted you guys that night.
Did I tell you? You don't even know the story.
Is there
there's a story.
There's a story.
We might as well.
Let's go. Let's go with it.
A lot of stories.
Let's go.
So we were at the game with our father.
Okay.
So we were sitting 500 level behind home plate.
We had a seating arrangement.
We had a certain seating arrangement for the game.
Okay.
And first couple innings they load the bases and don't score.
Oh no!
Everybody's a little frustrated.
Yes. So you kind of switch up a little bit.
Yeah. So we get to the 6th inning. Mets get out of a jam the top of the inning, and I decided enough was enough. I'm going for a walk. Got to change the mojo up a little bit. I start walking down the stairs. JD Martinez hits a single. I get field level behind a bunch of people, random people I don't even freaking know, Tim. And then the Mets.
So you went AWOL from your family.
And I stayed there the rest of the game.
No, what happened was
I love that.
the lady next to me that we were talking to during the game was very lovely. Her and her husband. Once they started to get going, she turned to me and she said, "I know you love your brother, but tell him not to come back."
And I didn't have plans on it. So I watched Francisco Lindor hit a grand slam among the most random group of Mets fans that I didn't know, and watched
the rest of the game. Hey, it happens.
From there.
We're superstitious, aren't we, as fans?
Yes.
It's a little bit, so I get it.
Yes.
But anyway, congratulations. And we are kind of set with the NLCS and the ALCS are ready to rock and roll. But anyway, I just wanted to get that out of the way. Congratulate you guys on camera, or on video at least. And my Phillies, typical as usual. So let's move on. Let's make history again, Mike.
History in the making right now. So Tim, as we like to, you always put a lot of prep into this show. I put pretty much 0. So you put together a little blurb of how we're going to start the show. So let's go ahead and start there. I'll let you start because I did not watch the show. So I'm interested in what your thoughts were about Bad Blood recently. And in that show, how any feedback on thoughts of that show so far?
Bad Blood. Hey, Brian, thanks for checking in with us as well. I just want to mention that right off the bat. We appreciate you and your support. Love what you guys are doing at Ringside Seat. Can't wait to do a little, maybe collaboration here down the line. Keep that in mind, guys.
Is this Brian fan?
Yeah. This is another guy.
All right, well.
Another Brian. The other Brian, I think, is at the game. So, hey, Brian,
if
you hear this.
Opener?
Yeah, I think he's at the home opener.
Let's go fucking Rangers. All right, anyway, sorry.
Guys, this is a wrestling podcast. I swear, I should have never started this sports stuff. But on some of these other podcasts, they talk about all different kind of stuff. So that's what we wanted to do. Give the people what they want.
Bad Blood.
Bad Blood, thank you. And I'm glad that you brought this up. I thought it was very, very good. Heavy on story, as it has been for the last several, I guess since the Paul Levesque Triple H era happened. That Hell in a Cell match. It's a joke, but, top 5 Hell in a Cell match, I'm going to say it's probably top 5. I don't know if I'm ready to make it a top 3. I was kind of thinking maybe, but it's definitely a top 5 Hell in a Celler. Probably the best one that they've had in years for sure. You got over a friendship bracelet and turned that into a storyline. And a bunch of 38-year-old guys marked the fuck out over it. So there you go. Hats off to Punk and to McIntyre. Just phenomenal work there. Liv and Rhea, very, very well done. Very well done. I love the little spot with Dominic hanging out of the cage, the Shark Tank cage. That was pretty fun. The main event, Cody and Roman versus Solo and Jacob Fatu. I'm going to say it went a little long, in theory. I know they've been kind of doing these marathon matches, main events, and, it was good. Don't get me wrong, it was good. But I think it could have maybe went a little bit shorter. I think seeing The Rock come back definitely lets us know that we are on the road to not only WrestleMania, but we are on the road to Survivor Series. And, we'll see where it goes from there. I do want to go back to something and based off of, us talking about Bad Blood. And, Mike, I didn't tell anybody about this. This is something that I realized that I need to own up to. Okay? So, I want to say it was 5 years ago. It was one of our earlier episodes. And we can go back. You guys might remember it. I don't know. I somehow remembered it because of my stupid memory, right? And we were sitting here talking about AEW. I think it just started. Again, maybe this was 2019, 2020. I can't remember the exact show. We sat here talking, and I went off and I said, this is going to be amazing. AEW is going to be amazing. I don't care about the stories anymore. Wrestling doesn't need stories. I'm paraphrasing. I don't remember exactly what I said. You can go back in the archives right now on YouTube, Pro Wrestling Outlaws, and find that. But I don't exactly remember what it was. But anyway, to the gist of it, and I was like, give me two guys bell to bell in the ring, and I don't need them. I don't need a story. Let them ball out. Let them go. That worked for maybe a year or two, right? And hey, we're about ready to watch Wrestledream. That's had maybe 2 weeks of real storyline other than the main event, which we will get into. This card has been mismatched. Now, has been put together randomly last minute. Go back, and the storytelling is what drives the wrestling fan. Storytelling is what we all get ourselves into. And I have to get off my soapbox. I was wrong 5 years ago. Okay? Because the AEW, and maybe it is the AEW now that was there 5 years ago, is completely different. And yes, I'm invested in the matches. But at the end of the day, they're just matches. What Triple H is doing, Paul Levesque, WWE, all those guys, is they're telling the stories and they're making the matches mean something. They're creating characters, and I just could not be happier to be a fan now of WWE.
Well, I don't know if you saw, but Jimmy Jacobs has gone from AEW, which will be interesting to see if that has a effect on the creative.
We will see.
Forward. That's within the last 24 hours.
I did not see that, so no, okay. But okay. But
I agree. I mean, I'm not honestly, I watch here and there when it comes to the WWE product, but I'm also somebody that I can pop on a show and watch a match without much backstory, just a little promo package, and get into it. So.
Yeah, way. Absolutely. I totally agree.
There's a match tonight where it really doesn't matter to me the story.
There is no story. It's a
championship
match.
Match. I just want to see people do crazy things.
Yes, and listen, I enjoy that too. Don't get me wrong, I enjoy that too. But at the end of the day, I think the stories is what is making it enjoyable to watch the match. Give me a reason between these two people. Other than just the spirit of competition. I thought it was going to be a spirit of competition. Yeah, let's get back to the old, Jim Crockett promotions and the early NWA and the early WWF where, it looks real. And, Rick Rude's giving, these ravishing Rick Rude, what the hell is it called? Goddamn, the Rude Awakening. Let's do that. Let's do stuff like that. Right? Let's get back to that. I'd rather see somebody get a fistful of beads from a friendship bracelet stuffed down their mouth while they're bleeding, gushing blood, trying to kill the other person.
Well,
I don't know. I think it's just a different time.
There will be murder tonight, so you will.
Which is the name of this podcast. Well, we didn't necessarily say murder. We weren't allowed to put it on there. It's a subtitle. It's in parentheses, if you will.
Witnessing murder live in Tacoma. Sorry,
Tacoma, the
Washington.
Tacoma Dome.
So the other big thing recently was the Vince doc. I've partially watched it. Tim, you've finished it. John, you've watched a couple episodes. So Tim, I'll start with you. I mean, I've seen a ton of the clips from some of the episodes that you can see. Obviously, a lot to unpack.
Yeah. I want to say it was very well done. Thought it was very, very well done. I really enjoyed having a little bit of a different look. Because all these things that we've heard and seen, throughout the years, all these stories on like the Four Horsemen or who killed WCW, all the biographies, all this, it's all been WWE skewed, right? Or slanted, however you want to look at that. They're telling you what they want you to see or what they want you to hear. This was the complete opposite. Yes, you heard from all these people, but you heard them in a different way. You heard them with no WWE influence. I thought that was really cool, just to see a different side of the business, and to hear some of these stories. I think we knew some of it, but do we really, at the end of the day, did we really know all the ins and outs? And I'm not talking about the bad stuff that happened in the last year and a half, 2 years. Yes, horrible and should never even really be spoken of, especially on our podcast, or on a podcast. Just the man, Vince McMahon. I don't know if I felt more sorry for him after listening to this, or if I felt more like he's really, really more whacked out than I even thought he was. And I don't know if you guys are planning on watching, so I won't give too much away, as far as it goes to that. But there are some stories in there where it's like, I can relate to this person, how he or she was feeling. And what the hell is Vince thinking? I think we've all thought that for 30 plus years since we started watching. So I thought it was very, very well. I think very, very well done in a nutshell. Again, anyone who's a wrestling fan, even if you're an outside the bubble wrestling fan, we're all in the bubble of a wrestling fan. If you're a perimeter fan, it's worth checking out. You don't have to watch it all in one day. I did not watch it all in one day. I wanted to, I would have, but I think I watched it, one episode a day or something. It's 6 hours of your life. They're about an hour, just over an hour long. Very well done. Very well done.
What particular episode or particular story, interview really caught your attention?
Yeah.
Really.
So it was the family and business, I think, episode or something. I want to say it's episode 3. And you hear the stories of like Shane and Stephanie growing up, and there's similarities of them growing up versus when Vince was growing up with his kid with his dad and things like that. I felt after this documentary, I felt more. I don't know if it's respect. I definitely have way more respect for, and I feel even sorry for Shane, and I think that comes to light in one of the stories, or in one of the stories, and then in the throughout the episode. So,
well, I'll get to that. I mean, I watched again the first episode, and just hearing Vince talk about his father not showing up for like the first half of his life, and then showing up,
right. When he was, which I never knew.
Yeah.
Or if I did, I spaced out on it.
And then how he, communicated with them, it just seemed like an odd thing, and I imagine that led to, his relationship with his son.
Sure.
Obviously. So.
Yep.
John, you watched a little bit. What have your thoughts been so far?
Outside of the Vince stuff, I didn't know that Hulk Hogan knocked a man out unconscious on the live show.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
The guy from Law and Order. Never knew that.
Yeah.
So that was interesting.
They have quite a history on talk shows with wrestlers. It's kind of a thing.
It's a thing, yo.
Yeah. Do they, Tim? Do they get into the whole Bob Costas? Is he pretty?
Yes, they do get into that.
Do they?
Yo,
Yeah.
they get into it.
By the way, Bob Costas, man, you have a place in the game's history, but please stop calling baseball games. Please. Signed, Michael J. Marie Jr. Thank you. Man likes to hear himself talk. Anyway, all right, so we're gonna move along before we get to the card tonight. John started a new little tradition here called the pick game, and we challenged him with a couple picks that John gave a little edit to last time to challenge him to guess the event or the match, I would say. And John, you've got how many this time for Tim?
We've got 5 this time.
Ooh, 5. That's more than he said he was going to give you. He said he was going to give you like 3. He actually...
3 to 5.
He said 3
3
to 5.
3 to 5.
3 to 5.
Yeah,
Okay.
based on timing, I think 3 to 5 was a. I forget how many we did the last time. But
Okay.
It seemed like it may have went just a smidge long.
So, Matthew, would you want to switch your seats? Actually, no, don't do that because then the audio will be screwed. So
Matthew,
all I'll do
did you
is this.
speak last show? You should speak. People haven't heard you in a while.
Hello.
All right, there's Matt is worried about having to go one-on-one with the Undertaker later. Holla, holla, holla.
We're gonna get
He's kind of shy. No, it's
We're
fine.
gonna get the
Why
first
is Rico
picture.
Constantine? Oh, he's with them. Okay, I got it now.
We are watching the Wrestledream 0 Hour as we speak. And
I've got the first one
the
loaded
man
up
is
for you.
about to be punted in the balls, it looks like.
Oh, yeah. Mike can do a little commentary.
Oh.
No, wait. There we go.
Different set of balls.
All right, Tim. Your first picture is loaded up.
Okay.
Can the audience see it?
The audience can see it.
The audience can
The
see
audience
it.
can
All
see
right,
it.
so let's see here. We've got blue and white ropes.
Blue and white ropes.
A man is punching another man who I suspect is Bret Hart. Is that Bret Hart? I don't have it.
That is Bret Hart.
That looks like
That's-
he's being beat up, Bret Hart.
So, so John, question. I'm sorry. Pay-per-views again as well. Okay, thank you.
All pay-per-views.
All pay-per-views. Okay, so Bret the Hitman Hart being punched by Jean-Pierre Lafitte the Pirate at In Your House 3,
Do you have a year?
1995.
That is correct.
Incredible.
Wow. I thought that was a good one. I've never heard of
The Pirate. So
Jean-Pierre Lafitte.
he stole Bret's jacket. The feud. So again, what were we talking about earlier? A friendship bracelet. If you steal somebody's property, it's gold. He stole Bret's jacket. Bret hates the pirate because he's a pirate who pirated the jacket. Okay? Ask Bruce Pritchard. Some of his best work right there.
All right, Tim.
Mr. Pritchard, there you go. Thank you.
I thought this one would be a fun one. I'm sure you'll get it right away. I did not know that this happened.
Oh, God. Okay. So, we got Owen Hart in the ring. The British Bulldog is his tag team partner. So, this is a tag team title match. And the guy in the ring is, we now know him as Mayor Glenn Jacobs. Is he still the mayor?
Yes, he is.
Mayor Glenn Jacobs, but he's here before the Kane character when he's Big Daddy Cool Diesel. The gimmick Diesel. The phony Diesel. So I believe he's teaming with the phony Razor Ramon. You can't see him in this particular picture. And I'm stalling a little bit because I know the time frame, but I'm going to take a guess on it. I'm going to go 1996. And no, wait. Is it December 1996? No.
It is in December.
It is
and
in
it is
December.
1996.
In your house. It's time.
2 for 2.
2 for 2.
What did you edit from these, by the way?
Well, the Diesel one, I knew he was going to get it. It was more of a fun thing. About the Diesel off of that. The first picture I didn't do anything because I thought it looked obscure enough because his face was blocked by the rope.
Yeah, and not obscure enough.
All right.
Next time you'll have to.
We got this one. This one is a...
Okay.
See if you get the event.
Oh my god. Okay, so Masahiro Chono, the NWA World Heavyweight Champion, against...
Is that Dave Meltzer?
It's not Dave Meltzer. Dave Meltzer's not that jacked.
He is pretty jacked.
Oh, he is pretty jacked, I know, yeah. I'll send you my $15, Dave, don't worry. Jesus Christ. Against the guy is now becoming, and I'm so damn proud, it's becoming a guilty pleasure of John here.
Oh, it's not guilty.
Ravishing, it's just a pleasure. Never mind. Ravishing Rick Rude. Okay, so it's Masahiro Chono versus Ravishing Rick Rude. 1992. Halloween Havoc. No! Yes, I am right.
Halloween Havoc. Now, bonus. Rick Rude came out with a valet. Who was his valet?
Rick Rude came out with a valet.
Was it A, his dog?
No, it was Medusa.
Okay, correct.
Part of the Dangerous Alliance.
Now, quick note. WCW short-haired Rick Rude so far is prime Rick Rude to me in my Rick Rude journey.
Can you say that? I don't know if they heard you fully say that into the microphone.
Short-haired 1990s WCW Rick Rude is prime Rick Rude.
Okay, I'm taking the microphone back. No, he's absolutely right.
Thank you.
Correct.
We're loading up.
Have you ever seen him sans a mustache? Watch that one.
All right, Sam. Try this one.
Oh no.
Again, we've got.
no.
Looks like we've got.
Yeah, I'm like, give commentary. I got to think on this one for a second.
So we've got Goldberg, obviously.
Okay,
It's
yes.
Very noticeable.
I know who that person is on the ground. That's what's scary. It's the total package.
Okay.
Lex Luger. Excuse me.
Oh God.
So this is 2000 WCW.
Oh yuck.
Okay. And I think, because I'm not positive, honestly, on this one. Oh, no, wait, hold on. Did he face... Okay, no. Starrcade 2000?
Final answer.
Final answer.
That is incorrect.
Incorrect.
Correct
Got
year.
one wrong. Correct year, wrong event. Would you like to know the event, or would you like one more try?
No, tell me.
Mayhem.
I was gonna say Mayhem. November, okay. Alright,
Mayhem
damn it.
2000.
I sucked myself out of
I
it.
got.
Who won the
I
match?
psyched myself out of it. It's Goldberg. Who do you think went over?
Now the last one, it might be easy for you, but I thought it would be tricky because they've had so many matches. I want
It'd
to
be
see
funny
if
if you
you
just showed him an
understand.
image of Rock Hogan from WrestleMania.
I don't know if you know this.
Hogan body slamming Andre.
Like you should do that one time.
Okay, so we got Rey Mysterio in a Greco-Roman knuckle lock with one of Mike's.
One of the scariest men alive.
He's very intimidating. The Iceman, Dean Malenko. 1996. Great American Bash.
There you go. Correct.
Ray's debut.
There you go. All right. 4 out of 5.
All right.
5 is a solid
I'm just glad I was able to get one.
dealio. Well. Oh, so by the way, that segment of the show is brought to you by our main sponsor, John Murray Photography. Tim, we were talking about this pre-show. He literally will take photos anywhere, right?
Anywhere and everywhere of anyone or anything.
Yes, it doesn't matter. if it's artistic, the nude,
No.
you know,
There seems to be limits.
he will travel.
If you have money, he will take.
He will
and
barter.
take pictures.
He'll take photos for perished foods.
If you're listen, I work in a grocery store, people. If you're having a dispute with the cashier because she will not refund your money at customer service because you bought these bad bananas or these bad tangerines or these bad Granny Smith apples, please get a hold of John Murray Photography. John Murray Photography at gmail.com, I believe, is the official. I don't know if that's accurate or not, but please get a hold of him. He will come and take pictures of this spoiled, rotten food. And he will work with you. He will probably even be nice and understanding. Because he's been taught right.
24 hours a day. If you want his cell phone, I'll give
7
it to
days
you.
a week.
You could call him at 3 a.m. He's gonna pick up. He's desperate. He needs the work. He's gotta feed himself. And he's got a family.
He's got kids.
He's got nephews. And they need things. They're demanding. So John Murray Photography, again, bar mitzvahs, weddings, you know, if you and
Your first day with your new
and
car. Your
wife
first day
are
with your
trying
current
new
wife.
things, he'll be there to capture the event.
John Murray Photography, a lifelong, long
Just
time.
Don't do baptisms. You'll wait a while for the photos. He has
That's
a problem
only-
with those.
that's only-
It's his one weakness.
That's only if
It's his kryptonite. Superman had one. He does too. No baptisms. The Catholic Church seems to be a problem for him. Anyway, we'll continue on with the show as John is choking on water. Wrestledream.
John Murray Photography. Hold on, I'm gonna look up one more thing.
Oh,
to say
sorry,
for it.
sorry.
This is the wrap up for it. John Murray Photography. It'll make your hopes and dreams come true. He is the best.
Guaranteed.
He's our lifetime, a long time supporter since day one. All these other fancy schmancy podcasts out there, they got Blue Chew as their number one sponsor. You know what I said when I wanted my first sponsor? I said, I don't want to be like those other people. I don't want the people who have erectile dysfunction. I want to go to the people
You don't need pills. His photos are gonna get you hard.
hard and fast, and you'll be having another kid in no time. Well, it'll be 9 months later, thanks to John Murray Photography, and we thank him.
All right, Wrestledream.
I'm pulling advertising like people pulled out of Twitter.
Wrestledream is in 20 minutes. We should get to the show. Tim.
Oh God, yeah, we have to. Okay,
All right, Tim.
rapid fire.
Rapid fire.
No, we're good. We got time.
I'm gonna start where everybody wants to start. Chris Jericho versus Mark Briscoe.
Mark Briscoe over.
Okay.
No,
Sure.
no. Listen, Jericho does his thing. He's gonna put over young Mark Briscoe. It's. I think it's gonna be a good match.
Hold on.
Kung Fu.
Cousin John is listening to the show.
Cousin John. Oh, Cousin
Shout
John.
out.
Hi, Cousin John.
Shout out. Saw him at the wedding. We tried to get more wrestling theme music played.
Didn't happen.
But Victoria, congratulations on your wedding. You will never hear this because you will never listen to this shit. But shout out Cousin John. Let's fucking go Mets. That's it.
Wrestledream.
Wrestledream. All right, so Chris Jericho, Tim, we've gotten to a weird point in his career.
Yeah, I get it. In the beginning, I thought it was cool 3 or 4 months ago when they started it. Kind of over it now. Maybe it's time again for him to kind of switch gears and reinvent the wheel, reinvent the Jericho vortex. Could be a good match. I love Mark Briscoe. I love the Kung Fu, Redneck Kung Fu, I think it's called. Love that. I'm gonna go with Mark Briscoe. I think Jericho's gonna put over the young lad.
Tim, the match that you're most looking forward to, I know. 2 out of 3 falls tonight. We've got Hologram versus the Beast Mortos. Your thoughts?
All right, so cruiserweight division, right? Essentially, a cruiserweight match that we all grew up with, or the Mexican style, the lucha libre match. It's gonna be a flip-flop fest show. Watch it. I mean, it's gonna be great. I'm a big Mortos fan. I'm I want to kind of compare him a tiny bit to somebody who I think you guys might remember. Mike, I believe you will. Not so sure about you guys, John and Matt. Silver King.
Mm-hmm.
You remember him?
Mm-hmm.
I kind of get vibes of that. Big guy, but can do these moonsaults, do these crazy flips. I think 2 out of 3 falls. I'm not really sure. I don't know. I didn't really pay that much attention to Collision or to Rampage this week. Or I guess Collision hasn't happened. Whatever. So I don't know why they're doing a 2 out of 3 falls match necessarily. I don't even know why they're really having the match. Kind of. It's just gonna be fun and exciting for sure. So it's gonna be lucha libre at its best.
Matthew, hologram, your thoughts. Do you know what this man looks like?
I do not.
He wears a mask.
Hologram.
How do we know what he looks like?
Where is he?
Where is he's a hologram?
He looks like the Green Ranger. There you go.
Green Ranger is better.
Okay.
Green
Sorry.
Ranger. Would he beat Undertaker in a one-on-one?
He would not.
Okay.
Buried.
Match that can steal the show, I think. Hangman Adam Page, Jay White. I hope this kind of leads Jay White getting shot up the card a little bit. I
For
think
sure.
it's
time.
extremely overdue. I don't know.
I
what
think if the
heck
man
they're
can
waiting
stay
for.
healthy too.
Yes.
He's had some very unfortunate injuries over the last 2 years, 2.5 years, whatever it's been since his debut. This might be able to kind of get him on that next level. That being said, I still like him as a heel, better as a heel, but you got to get him back. Everyone's excited to see him back, so he's going to take on the role of the face against the most psychotic man probably of this era, this last probably 10, 15 years. Hangman Adam Page is out of his freaking mind. I still get squeamish thinking about the damn match with Swerve. Yeah, thank you. At All Out, and then I still see the syringe going through the lips. It's just But anyway, looking forward to that. I think it's gonna have that New Japan strong style aggression, and that we like to see. So
Who do you think wins? Prediction.
I think Hangman's got to win.
Darby. Brody King. Interesting match for him. I don't know.
This is weird to me. So
Yeah.
I want to talk about this for a moment. I don't know if you saw it, but Darby originally a couple weeks ago did a promo. Basically, his hopes and dreams were dashed when he lost to Mox because he was supposed to go to the show for the title match, right? Against Brian Danielson. So he does this open challenge for Wrestledream. I think that's cool. We all remember Cody coming back to WWE. Against Seth Rollins a couple years ago at Mania. That was cool. We kind of maybe knew it was happening, but it was still a surprise. Boom. We all remember the Hardy Boys coming back at Mania several years ago. Really cool. I don't mind not really knowing who's gonna face this guy. I keep it a surprise. So it kind of leads me to believe, was there somebody, I don't know who, this is just a guess, was there somebody in line that they thought? And maybe it fell through the cracks. Maybe somebody isn't ready to return from an injury. Or maybe somebody didn't sign or something like that. You know what I mean? And again, I don't know who it could be or who it would be. Guess we could play devil's advocate or, armchair quarterback that thing till Monday morning. That being said, Brody King is ridiculously good. And they've had very good matches in the past. I don't see why this would be any different. I don't necessarily agree with the fact that Darby already hit him in the face with a fucking rock on Wednesday Night Dynamite. Save that for the pay-per-view, bro. But anyway, I think that's going to be very good. Darby's going to get broken in half and come out with the win, probably via coffin drop.
So, one of my favorites, Swerve, is returning tonight. What do you think he's going to be involved in, if anything?
I think you're going to see a segment outside where he swerves when he drives into the arena. Because he swerves when he drives, and he swerves when no surprise. Swerve when I drive.
Next time, we need to do live video. And we need to let you do Prince Nana for the people.
We'll see.
For the people.
We'll see.
So tag team
Give the people
championships
what they want.
are on the line in a match that, Private Party years ago seemed like they were on the cusp of being a big thing, and then I don't know, they just
That was like that new blood, that new
Yeah.
era, I dig it. I think they had injuries too. They had some issues. Mark Quinn could not stay healthy. Poor kid. And then you saw Zay go with like the Hardys or with Matt at least for a bit. They're back. I don't know. Like something though does kind of lead me to believe. I don't know why. Call it a hunch. With no momentum essentially whatsoever, kind of. Excuse me. I'm kind of picking Private Party to win the tag titles tonight.
Really?
They said that several months ago, maybe it was the beginning of the year, and they referenced this in one of their promos a week or so ago, that they promised that they were going to be the champions before the end of the year. Now, we know that doesn't always happen. Dreams don't always come true in professional wrestling. But maybe it's time we shock the world again, 5 years later. Just saying. Just throwing. Bucks don't need those tag titles.
No, I just wondering when they're an interesting case because of their involvement with the company. Do you ever think they ever consider any sort of solo work, or do you think they will always stay a tag team?
The Bucks?
Mm-hmm.
I guess it's possible that they could go their separate ways, but I think that's going to depend on if there's and hopefully there's not, but if there's a massive injury, like we were just talking about with Private Party, and Zay had to go on his own type of thing. I don't necessarily see them. They've had singles matches before, like on Dynamite and things like that, back in the day, and they were great. I think they're fine wrestlers. They're fine, entertainers. Well, maybe they're not entertainers, but anyway, I see them as the brothers tag team, and I don't know if life outside of the tag team would be beneficial for either one of them. It's like, do you want to see the Hardys together? Would you rather see the Hardys together, or would you rather see them split up like they kind of were? It never really worked when they were split up. Jeff had a cup of coffee with a title. Everyone still wanted to see them together. And I don't even mean if they split up because they they have a one-off match because of a jealousy or this or that, and then they kind of separate. It's over. You still want to see them together. No one wanted to see the Dudley Boys separated.
I did.
With different gimmicks. You would.
I thought Devon should have rose to the top and been a world champion. I was a Devon Dudley guy.
Testify.
Oh,
my brother. Testify.
The only women's match on the card, which I think is interesting. Again, really, really interesting what's going on with the women's division. I think it's kind of fallen by the wayside in a massive way.
So, Mike, I'm gonna give you a question for once.
Oh dear.
You tend to give me the questions and want me to go off right on these on these shows, which I enjoy doing quite easily. I'm gonna give you this question.
Okay.
Actually, it's kind of a two-part question, but maybe it all kind of ties together. What's been the better division? The women's division? Or the AEW tag team division? Or subsequently, what's been more disappointing?
The women's has been way more disappointing.
The women's have been more disappointing, you think?
Yes. I mean, at least I think the men's division, or the tag team division, I should specifically say, has had moments. They've had moments. It hasn't been necessarily consistent, no. But we've seen some. Again, we saw one of the best tag team matches, literally of all time, with the Bucks versus
Lucha Brothers.
Lucha Brothers, which I'm very sad that they'll be maybe eventually leaving them soon. They've had time extended to their contracts, but I thought AEW was going to place a premium on women's wrestling. They certainly have the roster that can do it. I don't know what the heck is going on with Mercedes. And I mean, I feel like it's fallen by the wayside since she's joined. More.
It's gotten worse since she's joined.
And
yeah,
that makes
I'll
zero
note that.
sense. You're supposedly bringing in one of the best women's wrestlers on the planet, and the product is worse.
Do you think that, specifically talking about Mercedes here, she was in the big company up north, in Stamford. She was in WWE, and she was surrounded by a Charlotte Flair. She was surrounded by a Becky Lynch, surrounded by Bayley, and a whole list of other Asuka, who we forgot to draft back in our draft special here, which you can find on the archives of YouTube here, the Pro Wrestling Outlaws. Like, is Mercedes the star that we all think she is? Is she the star that Tony Khan paid freaking millions of dollars to?
So I was never...
Or is there something missing?
I was never as high on her as everybody else was, but never disrespected her ability in the ring.
Yeah.
Especially. I just was never a huge fan of the character that she portrayed. I think.
And what she's doing now is like a joke.
It's not very entertaining. But, again, I think it's a matter of consistency. You got to continually push them. They need to have consistently matches on every single show, and you got to build up the division. I think of the Dark Order that we see, what's his name, in this match we're watching right now. Remember Dark Order at the beginning?
Oh, yeah.
Dark Order was... We hated it.
Yeah.
We despised it, and they got over it, right?
Yep.
But...
And then what?
Well, hold on, Johnny.
I do have a question now, because you're talking about Mercedes stuff. Because what I'm reading on like the random wrestling forums or whatever, is people have turned on Britt. And I was wondering your thoughts on the Britt Baker kind of downfall a little bit.
People have turned on Britt in the backstage, you mean, or
no? Just in that, and in terms of her recent performances, and she was hitched on to be the face of them.
Okay.
Now Tony Storm took that by storm. Obviously, in a good way. Nothing wrong there.
Sure,
she
absolutely.
She took that because she was innovative in what she wanted to do. But it's kind of crazy to think that when it started, it was like...
It was all about Britt Baker.
It was going to be Britt Baker. And now, how many years later, and people have really turned.
I don't know. Britt's character in the COVID era, which I know we sometimes don't want to refer to, or we don't want to discuss, got her to where she is today. Got her to be over. And she did that when she wasn't able to wrestle.
Well, that's funny, because the COVID era is where I thought the women's wrestling there was really good.
Yes. Oh, yes.
It had Nyla Rose.
Yes.
It had Sheeta.
That's my point. This is part of...
Baker. Yeah.
It's part of my point, though. Yeah. Like, I mean, she was still young. She was turning into the role model in the wheelchair because she had, and all that. She had Rebel. Shout out Rebel, top guy. Appreciate you and everything you do for ad-free shows. And, we need more Rebel. Is Rebel still a part of AEW? Tony Khan, we need more Rebel. Get her back. So, it's just, yes, it was better back in the COVID times. And some of the matches they were putting on, were great. Somewhere along, I don't blame that on Britt Baker, though. Because of Britt Baker, they were good. She led the division. It was a change. It was still when the company was less than a year old. They were still building. It was still new. It was still exciting. And now what? You bring in somebody like I was just saying to Mike, you bring in somebody like Mercedes Moné. And I'm not blaming this all on her. It's not. But she was supposed to be this big change. Correct me if I'm wrong. She's supposed to be this big change, this revolutionary entertainer. And the ratings have gone down.
And she's not even on pay-per-view.
Sure. Yeah.
It's just extremely odd. What's
Yeah.
happened.
Yeah.
Extremely odd. But we need to move along, so we've got 4 minutes here till showtime. So the match that I think. Oh, I'm sorry, Matthew.
So I was going to ask, based on how you guys have been mentioning how this card's kind of thrown together, what match isn't on the card tonight that should be?
I don't know if I necessarily know. When
The
it
only
should be.
thing that I can think of, and this is the man we're looking at right now.
Yeah, he's not on the card. which is-
Konosuke, the guys they've done. I'm sorry, Kazuchika Okada. They've done nothing with this title. Now maybe they're doing it because it's a 1-year type of thing. They had to get it off of Eddie Kingston because of the injury, I believe. So that's why Okada won. Maybe we're gonna get a match
Maybe
here.
we're
I
gonna
don't
match
know.
at it here.
That would be wonderful. And in which case, I'm down for it. Let's do it.
All right, so I think the match of the night, probably. I hope it is. AEW International Championship. I don't care if they flip for fucking 30, 40 minutes. I think the match is going to be insane.
I think you're looking at, and I legitimately believe that this can be a match of the year candidate.
Who do you think wins?
And I never thought a triple threat match could be a match of the year candidate. Who do I think wins? Takeshita.
And I believe he should.
And I think,
And I hope he skyrockets.
unfortunately, Ricochet might take the loss. I don't know if you're still ready to beat Ospreay yet. I'm not sure of that. And listen, I like Ricochet. I really like Ricochet. It looks like maybe we're doing it tonight between Okada and Kyle O'Reilly. Sign me the fuck up for that.
All right, real quick. World Championship on the line. Bryan Danielson family not there because he's going to be murdered on live television versus Jon Moxley. Tim?
Let me get my paper bag out. Hold on. Or my plastic
bag.
bag. Shit, I've ruined the punchline. This whole thing started, and I think I mentioned this to you guys. If I did not, I apologize. But Terry Funk and Ric Flair vibes from 1989. That was, with the plastic bag over the head, and they even did something else. Oh, I honestly thought on Dynamite this past week, I think it was the Dynamite this past week, I honestly thought that Moxley was going to pile drive him through a table. That did not happen, but I was like, I was ready for that. It might very well happen tonight on the show. So I don't know, this thing is going to be great. I think the reason we're doing this show, the reason we're doing this podcast, is because I think we all thought that this was going to be Bryan Danielson's last match, right? At least full-time, after whatever they're trying to go back and forth with. Is it his final match? Is it just his full in-ring time? They keep going back and forth, very inconsistent. Maybe he doesn't even know. I think he's going to lose the title tonight to Moxley. I think he needs to get the surgery that he's talked about. And I think
You gotta make the prediction. You made it earlier.
I think that the AEW as we know it will drastically change after tonight. Creatively, physically, mentally. And I don't think there's enough money in the world that will not stop. Here comes the money. Shane McMahon to help Jon Moxley beat Bryan Danielson.
Well, this has been another edition of the PW Podcast. Wrestledream is starting right now. Hope you enjoy the show if you're watching. Thank you for joining us. As always, Tim.
It's been a pleasure. Pleasure's been all your guys, not mine. No, we appreciate you guys. Like, subscribe, comment, and we will talk to you soon. Enjoy Wrestledream.
We have an email, by the way. What is it again? John?
Pro Wrestling Outlaws at gmail.com.
ProWrestlingOutlaws@gmail.com. I don't know if we've ever gotten a non-spam email. If you want to email us, ProWrestlingOutlaws@gmail.com to force John to check
I
it.
hope that's the email. I could.
If it gets bounced back or somebody random emails you back, we apologize. We are going live to Tacoma, Washington. Good night.